Hello guys, what's up? Stefano here. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how I've created the Viking demo for Prometheus. I would like to explain how I'm using in this session the warrior builder, for example, which is really important to understand how to use this builder very well to get the best sound, the best result. Then I'm using also Atlantis 2. Of course, you know that Atlantis 3 is under development, is in work in progress, but in this session I'm using Atlantis 2. The percussions with elements cinematic rhythms, and then the other sounds, for example, the cello, some textures are from Prometheus. And then there are some additional sound effects that I created to add a little bit of sound design. Okay, let's play and then we talk. Okay, so first of all, let me take a look at the warrior builder. This is the MIDI file. As you can see, I'm using the key switch to change the step. So in this case, I'm not using the sustain pedal and I'm not using the yellow key switch. I remember you that with the yellow key switch you change a specific step. So if you want a specific step, you can use the yellow key switch. The purple is useful when you want to navigate backward, and the green forward for forward, and the red reset the step on the first position. You can use this builder in a lot of different ways. Sometimes I prefer using the yellow key switch because I need a specific step in a specific moment, and for this purpose the yellow is really useful. Or sometimes I can use the sustain pedal to change the step, or the green or purple color. So there are different ways to use this builder, but a really important thing is understand very well how to create the connection. In general, this is the typical way to use this instrument. You select a step and you can load a phoneme inside the step. Okay, select the step, and then with the drop down menu you can select a specific phrase. For example, Ame vara skobrohu o kandeva rakanor luva raka grondir drupa lei shaus. These phrases have the same structure. Let me show you. For example, now I go and play. Okay, how you can see, I change the step only when I complete the phrasing, only when the phrase is completed, because this is a, me, va, ra, etc. The important thing is to create the connection. You have to use the overlap, as you can see, because if I don't create the overlap, there is not the connection. Okay, sounds you have to use this overlap. Okay, now the phrase is completed and I use the key switch to change the step. Okay, let me show you an example here. So as you can see, I'm using the step, the green key switch. So anytime I play this key switch, I go forward. So to have a complete reset of the builder, I need to go here, because I'm using the red key switch. So if I start from here, the step is reset to the first position, and then there is the green key switch to navigate forward. So if I want to use the yellow to have a specific key switch, a specific step, for example, in this part I want the step number 2, but I want to use a yellow, because in this case anytime I play from this part, I play the specific step. I always play the step number 2, so I don't have to go to the first position. So for this I can use this key switch here. Okay, so let me insert the note, and now I can delete this key switch. If I go in play from this part, I always play the step number 2. I can do the same thing for the step number 1, for example. I use this key switch here, I delete the red key switch, and now I have this key switch, the first key switch, to have the step number 1. I cancel this one, and now I can use, for example, if I want to play the same step, I can use the same key switch, or I can create an empty space. Or if I want to play again the step number 1, sorry, I can create this key switch here. So from this part I play the step number 2. instead, if I want to go on the step number 3, I create the key switch number 3. So, in general, I prefer the yellow key switch when I want to have this kind of situation. So in this case, I can play the sequence from any part, and I have always the specific step, so I don't need to go on the first part from the beginning to have the correct sequence. I hope it's clear what I mean. You have to understand the internal structure of the phrasing. Of course, you can change the notes, you know, there is no problem. But you have to, for example, I can create this, let me try this kind of note. Or I can create this part. Or this one, I don't know. So there is a metric, there is a structure. So you can decide, or you can create a simple part like this one. Or you can create this structure because there is this metric, this singing, this so it's very flexible. Okay, the important thing is the creation of the connection, of the overlap, and understand when it's important to understand when the phrase is completed, because when the phrase is completed, and you know that because you can see here ame va ra sco bro hu, so u the last phoneme. Okay, now the phrase is completed, so now I can from now I can decide, I can change the step if I want. For example, I can change the step here. I want Drupa lei Shaus. Of course, I need to change also here. And here. Okay. Because this is the choir version. Okay. Now let me change the first step. Now I load this phrase here, which is a little bit different because has a different structure. Let me take a look. Okay, Raka Numiande. So if I play this melody with this phrase here, probably doesn't work. Okay, because the phrase is completed here. So probably I can try something of this. and maybe I can try this. In the second step, I load another of these sequence here that are shorter. So Raka no mi ande o Varae tu nonde. Okay, for example, maybe I can change the note. So as you can see, when you work in this way, I prefer the key switch, because so I don't need to play anytime from the beginning. So for this reason, I prefer the use of the yellow key switch. Change again, another key switch here, and let me try. Okay, so as you can see, is quite flexible, because I can create a completely different melody, a completely different part. The really important thing is understand the structure of the phrase that you load, and then you can create any kind of melody. Okay, in the first part I'm using the deep legato. Very easy, very simple. Then here I'm using the Atlantis A. Just to create this part, and here I'm using the Valhalla true legato. With the second layer, which is stronger. And this part is really has a lot of vocal part, because I'm using also this vocal phrase. So we have the builder here. The same phrase. Then we have the Valhalla true legato, and then we have these two vocal phrases. As you can see, the vocal phrase is a really powerful instrument because there are a lot of different phrases which you can combine in a lot of different way, a lot of different combination. You can create anytime a different thing. There is no problem. Then there are some other vocal here, the vocal rise, the short crescendo. Then there is also the folke. On the folke a little bit of pitch bend here to create this long blending. The overlap here, and sounds great all together. Also the builder, the Valhalla. Let me try. True legato is absolutely amazing. I love it. In this part there is another part with the builder, which is in off now. This part is Kire nor to see crudir. Really loud, really powerful. And then about the vocal, I think that it's all in this part. Then there are, of course, the percussion from elements, cinematic rhythms. In this case, I create a render in place of soundtrack because this session I've composed this session with my laptop, so in this case I'm using in some case the render in place. Let me play the percussion. Then there is this cello part from Prometheus, this articulation, Gironda. In this case with the legato. So there is the overlap, and then there are other part. This cello loop. guitar part, always from Prometheus. And that's all. Let me open everything. Yeah, in the last part there is just a little part with the Elven True Legato. The builder, the soft builder of Prometheus. In this case, I'm using the sustain control change 6/4, the sustain pedal, to change the step when the phrase is completed. Rest. Okay, so really easy. That's all. I hope it was helpful for you, and see you in the next tutorial. Bye bye.